Hello, Mr. David. Can you hear me? I hope they can hear me.
So we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's not much. Good afternoon, everyone. I can't believe I just woke up less than 30 minutes ago. I had to rush it. The time difference is 7 hours. Uh, it's been a very hectic week. But anyway, how has the program been? I would like to ask. At least I would like to know how some of you are doing. Maybe at least from two persons. How has the program been so far? I keep seeing updates on the WhatsApp group, and I'm like, oh, these people are being loaded with so much, oh. Plus their personal work and responsibilities. How are they coping? I would like to hear from someone how the experience has been so far. Would someone like to share? Okay, please. Yeah, Brent, please. You could unmute your mic.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon.
Okay. Please, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can.
Okay, good afternoon. Concerning the 3MCT program, thank you for the opportunity to speak about the training so far, Mr. Chibuzo. So, concerning the program, 3MCT and studying cybersecurity under the health techies. Sorry, data analytics, not cybersecurity, under the health techies. So, data analytics has been a very engaging class. We learned from the navigation and the basics of Microsoft Excel. So learning from the basics, you learn few shortcuts, learn the task bar, and how to identify some other functions in Excel. So that was about the first week, and we had the class tasks. We now moved on to the second week, where we were taught on how to insert entries on tables, on how to make your identity on a table look more precise as a data analyst, and how you could get to clean data. So it's been a really engaging classes. We have class tasks after each classes, and we also learn on how to manage our time and also work efficiently as a data analyst in the making. So a lot has been done. Mr.
That
David has done a lot. So we are really learning gradually. So we are moving into more of the software program for this Saturday on PostgreSQL and still more advanced Excel functions as well.
well done. That's really good. I would like to hear from a lady this time. How have you been able to manage work and personal engagements to still find time? Thank you, Brent. Brent, you could mute your mic. Thank you. So
Okay.
how have you been able to manage work and other responsibilities alongside this training?
Okay, should I
A lady,
proceed?
no.
Okay.
I would want a lady to speak this time. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you for your experience. Bella, could you say something? Mata, um, anyone could say something. I'm looking at you like this. Where are our sisters? Okay, please. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Vivian.
Okay, so far, my name is Vivian from Data Analysis and Visualization.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
far, yes, sir, we've been learning a lot, and at the moment, we're actually at the level where we are learning Excel and also how to write statements on SQL, PostgreSQL. So there are so many formulas on Excel that usually before now I wasn't familiar with. But with the help of Mr. David, he has been able to give us the formula, how to use it, how to apply it to to answer questions, and also the assignments and projects he has been giving us the opportunity to learn more on our own via research. And so we are here. We'll be here today to also
Mm.
continue to learn our upgraded Excel and also programming to write those statements and all. So it has been very interesting, very insightful.
Yeah, well done. Well done. I see that some of you are at American Corner in Calabar. Well done. In the last class, we looked at ORID. We looked at the topic integrating new learning or new experiences through ORID. Um, have some of you started using ORID, the ORID model in your learning experience? If you would like to say something, I would like you to indicate with the lift of hand. I hope, I don't know if some of you were in that class, but if you were, has that model been a part of your learning experience? Have you tried using it to see how it can help you learn? I will always ask you questions of your previous classes, so that's me. I won't just assume to say let's power on. No, I need someone to say something. If you don't say something, I won't continue with the new class. So if you don't say anything, I'll sing for you. I'm still waiting. I'll need someone to share. I'm not going to start this class, so I want to hear. Has Orid helped you in any way? Was it how was that class? And it's been a week. Has it helped you as you learn your lessons in product management, cybersecurity, data analytics? And if there is any way you're encountering challenges in using it as a tool, or maybe you tried using it but you found challenges, I think this is a good time to help, because here is what I told you when I started engaging on this program. I said my job is not to lecture. My job is not to lecture and give you knowledge. My job is to help you integrate the things you're learning into your experiences. That's my job. And also to know how you are faring and to watch your transformation as you undergo this program. And if there is any way, there is any challenge, this soft skills training is just to help you learn better and integrate the learning properly. So I will definitely ask questions. It's part of my session. I'll definitely ask questions. I would want to hear feedback. I would want to know how I can help you do better. That's my job. So it involves me going back and forth with certain questions and then connecting it to what we have today. So I would really love to hear from you regarding ORID. Or if you were, I don't know if you were not in that class. Brent, were you in that class? And Miss Vivian, were you in that class? If you were not, it's okay. But I would like to know if you were in the class last was it Friday?
No, sir, I wasn't.
Okay, you weren't in the class.
No, sir.
Oh no. Oh, you missed so much. You missed so much. I would encourage you. Someone on the group did a fantastic job with the summary of that class. So I would encourage you to go to the WhatsApp, and you will find the summary. It will really, really help you. And the reason why I had to share that class was I understand that adult learning is not as easy as learning when we were children. It needs a lot of repetition, it needs a lot of reflective practice. And so I felt that that model was very important. It was very important that I introduced that model so it can help us properly incorporate the things we hear in each class. Because, of course, you have so many things in your head. Some of you are already running businesses, or you have a day job to go to, and then you have family responsibilities to attend to at home. So there's this tendency to forget most of the things you learn in these classes. So I will encourage you, please. Yeah, thank you so much, Dahel. There's a recording of that class on YouTube. I would encourage you to watch it. It will help you tremendously. All right. Okay, so we go straight to what we have today. Dahel team, please, I will need someone to assist me with the slides. That would really help. If you can, I would need you to assist me with the slides. I didn't come with my laptop on this trip so that airport people no go break them for me, and so that by accident I wouldn't. I'm usually very careful traveling with laptops. I have, but I do travel, but I seldomly do. I would rather use my phone to work. So yeah, I would be glad if you can help me with the slides. So today we're looking at a very important topic titled Components of a Winning Team, or Components of a Healthy Team. Components of a Healthy Team. This is a very important topic. I created this material. You will not find this material anywhere online or in any book. I designed this model after I wrote my book, Rising at Sunrise. I wanted to create something that can help teams, whether in the corporate world or business or non-profit organization or maybe sports team. I wanted to create something that can help anyone leading a team or present in a team to help them increase the team's efficiency and productivity. And so I designed what I call the structure and culture of a winning team. Structure and culture of a winning team, or the structure and culture of a healthy team, which would really help you because as you're learning these skills, you will find yourself in situations where you would have to lead a group of persons at work. You will find yourself where you would have to work with a team. And if you do not have the skills or the technicalities that I'm about to share with you, you might end up being frustrated. I've told you before, I've seen very brilliant, talented people who have not had career advancement because they of this challenge of knowing how to work with people. A lot of people have this problem. So I would encourage you to sit tight and pay attention to everything I'm going to share in this class. So, components of a winning team. I would like us to go to the next slide. Okay, so I wrote here building a winning team, recalibrating its structure and culture for efficiency through motivation. Recalibrating its structure and culture for efficiency through motivation. And then I took this quote from my coach. I'll call her the best coach of all times, Dr. Deidre Combs. She said in her book, Worst Enemy, Best Teacher, she said, as we gain awareness, strength, and greater calm, these rewards not only transform our relationships, but can improve our connections with everyone around us. We become more comfortable with adversity and bring new calm into our homes, communities, and workplaces, we simply find we have more room for others and ourselves. So, Dr. Deidre has been an expert in conflict management for many years, consulting for the Department of State for Educational and Cultural Affairs in the US, and has consulted for several Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 companies. So she's been my coach for, I think, the last 2 years. I spoke with her yesterday. I met with her in Detroit. And one of the things she does best is to help teams work together. And I'm so privileged working with her and learning from her. So, like I said when we started, the ability to lead a team or galvanize a team or work in a team is one of the things that will set you apart. So we go to the next slide. I just had to bring up the quote as introduction because learning these new skills will help you gain more awareness. And with awareness comes a sense of calm. You are relaxed, you are not anxious because you know what to do in a situation if a situation arises. So motivation, I wrote here, feel for a winning team. To motivate means to inspire action. To motivate means to inspire action. But now the question is, what happens when there is no motivation for the team to work? When there's no motivation, there's nothing really, the team does not feel, I don't know, have you been in a less motivated team or an unmotivated team? It's one of the worst things I have ever seen. The dryness, the frustration, the lethargy, I don't know how to describe it. So I said here, but when motivation is lost, the feel for action is lost. So motivation is like fuel. It's like fuel for a car. The car has everything, has an engine, has wheels, has everything it needs to move. But when there is no fuel, I bet you that car is never going to move from where it is. So when there is no motivation, the team is never going to move. That product, that project is never going to move. I'm telling you, it's never going to move. So I have to explain, just dwell on this, even though it seems mundane, but it's very important. It is usually those things we consider mundane that are the most important, most determining factors for our success. So to help a team succeed, first you have to look at motivation. And what are the things that influence motivation? That's what we're going to be looking at. So we look at the next slide. So it says here, very important soft skills for leaders looking to create widespread impact in their communities. It's like I'm missing some parts of the slides, but anyway. What this slide is saying here is that there are very important skills which we're going to talk about that are very important to help create impact, to help grow your business. And that skill is collaboration. Collaboration. Some of you, and now another question I would like to ask is, how many of you have read my book, Rising at Sunrise? If you have not gotten that book, I feel sorry for you because, first of all, the hell has done everything possible to make sure you have access to that book. So there is no excuse. They've covered like 50% of the costs. What more can anyone do? And then secondly, that book is 3,500. Let me tell you, I sold that book in America here. A copy is $20. A copy is $20. You know how much $20 is? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I would have as well carried the entire copy because the copy is finished and people wanted it. And I was like, see how I've done for that Christmas. And anyway, but it's all good anyway. So I'm telling you this because first of all, the hell gave a 50% discount. It was at 7,000. The hell covered 3,500 for each copy. It's now 3,500. A material like that. No, that's not a cheap material. If you look at the paper quality and the work put into it, that book was reviewed by certain professors in the US. and in Nigeria before we were able to do complete vetting and to bring it out. So that's great content, though it was written for young people, but that's great content. I'll encourage you to get it. If you read it, the questions you ask me in this class will be different from the questions others will ask me, you know. So I encourage you to read it. I was able to highlight some very important things on collaboration, which may not really come to your mind, but it will really help you. So there is something I wrote here. I said the melody of an orchestra cannot be rivaled by the performance of a single instrument. Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter how brilliant you are as an individual, you will need to work with a team. QED. There are no two ways about it. You will need to work with a team. Because no man is an island. Even the Bible makes it clear. It says one will chase 1,000 and two will chase 10,000. So you see the exponential leap when you work with people. Working with people is leverage. It's leverage, and you must understand how to use that leverage. It's like trekking from. It's like saying you're going to trek from Calabar to Uyo. If you're going to trek from Calabar to Uyo, it's going to take you days. If actually that's something you want to do, it's going to take you days to arrive. But if you have a car to do that, you first of all have to know how to move that car. You have to know how to move that car. So the car there is leverage. You need to know how to move the team, whether you are the leader or you are one of the team members. Know that leadership is about influence. It's not about title. You know, so have to know how to move the team from the point of vision to the point of implementation. You know, so that's something to note. That's something very important. So we go to the next slide. All right, the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. Okay, could you go back a bit? Okay, thank you. Oh, someone is saying I can't hear you. Others, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please put up your hand. Oh, thank you. Ah, I beg you, please, oh, hear me. Oh. Thank you. Okay, please, the health team, could you go back, take the slide back? Sorry that you had to take it forward, but take it back again and again. Okay, good. Okay, here. So it says here, no, move again in front. No, you're missing something. Go back. There's a slide you are missing. There's a slide you are missing. I don't know. It's like this thing is late. I'm saying the structure of a team. You would need to go back again because I haven't gotten to there yet. So after this part, the next slide. No, you are missing something. You're missing something. I think go to slide number 5. Slide number 5. Slide number 5. I want to make sure I don't jump anything. And I want the chain of my thoughts to be sequential. Slide number 5. Okay, so that slide says it says, but what happens when the team begins to lose motivation and its community engagement activities begins to wane? What happens when the team? So that's what today's class is about. I had to speak all this English to come to this point. And so this is where I want us to pay attention because this is going to help you, whatever team you're involved in, this is going to help you tremendously. What happens? Let's say the volunteer team at Dahel is beginning to misbehave. What do you do when the team begins to lose motivation? Like some of you are beginning to lose motivation to come to class. Like last week we had more persons, but today we have like 20 something persons. It should be more. So what happens when the team begins to lose motivation and its community engagement activities begins to wane? So we check out the next slide. So it says here, go back to the drawing board and evaluate the structure and culture of the team. There you will identify the root cause of the problem and how to solve it. Go back to the drawing board and evaluate the structure and culture of the team. There you will identify the root cause of the problem and how to solve it. I know I had to repeat that twice, or say that twice. So now we're going to look at the diagnosis of a team, especially a team that is failing. A team fails for a reason. A team doesn't just fail because they fail or they want to fail. A team fails for a reason. It's like someone who is sick. The person is sick for a reason. And so you've got to do a diagnosis to find out, okay, the doctor will have to find out where are the places the symptoms are presenting. Where are the places? Is it what organs or what part of the body? For example, I have a background in medical sciences. I read human physiology. One of the things we were taught about appendicitis is appendicitis many times presents as umbilical pain, but that is not where the appendix is. The appendix is on the side, um, um, the lateral side of your right. Yeah, that is where the appendix is believed to be, if I'm not mistaken. But many times when someone is having appendicitis, the pain happens at the umbilical region. And then there are also other things. So when someone is having excruciating pain in the abdomen and they go to the hospital, the doctor is asking himself, why is this person having this pain? And then he's trying to look out for the places the individual is feeling the pain. So the reason why the individual is feeling the pain in the abdomen is that there's something in biology or in physiology that's called referred pain. So you could actually have a problem on one side of your body but feel pain in another side. Reason is because the nerve supplying that side of the body that is suffering that sickness goes across, is connected to that place, and the firing of the signals of the pain is experienced by the innervation in that place. It's like wiring. When you wire your house, and then there is the charge moves to another place and begins to shock people. You understand? Instead of it to go straight to where it should go, it should flow. So that's it. I just have to use that example because what we're about to do is to show you how to diagnose a failing team and then also how to resuscitate it. So we go to the next slide. So, the first thing we look at, I mentioned the structure and culture. So the first thing we look at is the structure of the team. The structure of the team. So the structure speaks of the team's vision, the team's leadership style, the team's assigned roles, and the team's resources for task. Those are four things: vision, leadership roles, or a leadership style. Leadership style. I just put there leadership, but what I intended to put there is leadership style. Assigned roles and resources for task. Very important. So we go to the next slide. So now the next one is structure. I'm going to go to explain all of those bit by bit. I'm going to unpack it but let me just give you a general overview of each of these. So this one is the culture of a team. So the culture of a team speaks of its camaraderie, communication, adaptability, inclusiveness. All right. Okay. So we go to the next slide. All right. So now going to structure. Um, what is leadership style? I don't know. I think the first that should have come up is vision. But anyway, let me start with leadership style. So, what is leadership style in this context? There's such a thing as leadership style, and not everyone leads the same. Now, leadership style is influenced by two major things. Leadership style is influenced by the personality of the leader and the experience of the team. The personality of a leader and the experience of a team influences um, the leadership style that is being used. So you don't use one leadership style for every leadership situation. So there are about five leadership styles. There is the affiliative, there is the coaching style, there is the democratic, there is the pace setting, and there is the commanding style. There's the commanding style. So I'm going to give an example. In the democratic style of leadership, the leader um, believes that okay, some of you are lifting your hands, but don't worry, I'm coming. I'm going to take your questions. Let me just flow because I don't want to um, confuse certain people. I'm going to take questions towards the end, and I'll be willing to go back. All right, thank you. So, in the leadership style, you won't find the leadership style thing here on the slides. I think I might handle a separate class on leadership style. I think that is also very important for me to handle. So there is affiliative, there is democratic, there is coaching, pace setting, commanding style. So for democratic, the person comes into the leader comes in and he sees that, okay, these people that I'm leading, they know what to do. They are competent. And so I want to sample their opinion and gauge the strongest opinion. And then with that, I make a decision or we make a decision. I would now agree and say, okay, I've weighed other options and I see that this one holds water. We will go with this, you know. Especially when most members of the team go with that idea, and that idea is very efficacious. So he says, okay, or she says, okay, we'll go with this. For coaching, the coach works with the people, like observe, monitors the people, allows the people make the decision and guides them along the way, or inspires them to, to run more. The commanding style is the style that is very common we see in Nigeria, where the people, the person tells you what to do. It's like a military style. You are being told what to do. And that style happens when the team is inexperienced and they are dragging feet. They are not motivated to do the job and they're inexperienced. So you have to have a master like leader to tell them what to do. You do this, you do that, you do that, you do that. So that's the style of leadership that happens for entry level people, interns. Many people don't like it, but it helps. It helps, especially if you're new on the job. But the disadvantage is this: you don't use commanding style for people who are experts. If you're leading a team of experts, you don't dare use commanding style, or else you turn them off, and they will feel being micromanaged, and nobody likes being micromanaged. All right, nobody likes being micromanaged. So the wise thing to do is to look at the team and know what leadership style is best for the team. Know what leadership style is best for the team. You know the kind of people you're working with. You know what's best for them. Okay, let me not flog it too much. We still have a lot to talk about. So we go to the next slide. Yeah, vision. So actually, this should have come first before leadership, because before leadership comes vision. It's actually vision that would help you know how to uh, tailor your leadership style. So, in collaboration, the vision is the centerpiece. The vision is the centerpiece. Important question to ask when you discover that the team is failing. An important question to ask if you're coming in to redeem the team. Important question to ask is: has the team veered away from the vision in its operation? Has the team veered away from the vision in its operation? Because that's what we see happens many times. People join a team because of the vision, and then along the line, the leadership veered off from the vision, from the central vision, and maybe incorporated something else or brought something else into the picture. And then the people are like, this is not why I joined the team. I didn't join the team for this. And soon enough, they no longer come for meetings. They are not showing up anymore. And people are wondering, oh, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What is happening is the people feel that the main reason that brought them there is no longer the thing that is being echoed. It's no longer the thing that is they're saying. So they leave. For some of them, they leave. And so if you want to resuscitate a team, you have to ask yourself the vision. Is the team actually running with the vision? The hell is running with the vision of the 3MTT, and they are holding classes to educate and equip participants on tech skills. That is why you are here. If we're talking about sewing and baking and hair making, I believe many of you will not be here. No be so. You will not be here because you will say to yourself, this is not the vision. I did not bargain for this. I did not sign up for this. And you leave because you see that the organization or the team has veered off of the vision. So that is something, if you feel that way too, you should also know that that is how many of the persons in that team feel regarding that project, and it has to be addressed. The vision of the team has to be addressed, and you also have to ensure that the team goes back to the drawing board. All right. Okay, so we go to the next slide. Assigned roles. Assigned roles. So in a team, you have to look at the roles that have been assigned to the people and then ask yourself, are these roles relevant? One, and if they are relevant, the people handling these roles, are they competent? Are they competent enough to take responsibilities? Because you see, when you want a team to succeed, there are no sentiments involved. There is nothing like my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. If, for example, now I am supporting Mr. David on this project, I know for sure that Mr. David is not sentimental enough to say, okay, Chibuzo, because okay, we are friends, come and be. I just need you to do this thing. Come and support my class when I am not competent. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. There are no, when it comes to the effectiveness of a team, there are no sentiments. There's no my brother, my sister. That's what is killing Nigeria. What is killing Nigeria is nepotism. This person is not skilled enough for the job, but because he's my brother, he comes from my village, you put him there and he runs down that department. He runs down that parastatal and things begin to go down. That's the problem that we're having. So these are things to look out for. Look at the assigned roles. Look at the designation of those roles if they are relevant for the team, and then also find out if the team members assigned those roles are competent for the job. Okay, so we go to the next one. We're still on that structure. So we go to the next one, resources. Resources available. Now, this is very important. Very, very important. A very important question to ask is, does the team have the needed resources for the required task? Does the team have the needed resources for the required task? So here is something that I've been thinking of lately. There's nothing as frustrating as knowing how to do the job, but you do not have the resources for the job. It can be frustrating. I'm in Houston now. A couple of days ago, I was still in Michigan. When I was at Michigan State University, I was given an office to work from. I discovered the ease with which I worked. Now, here's what I mean. There was internet, there was power, there was a good chair for me to sit and was good for my back. There was what else again? Um, if I needed water, I could get water. If I needed coffee or tea, I could get coffee or tea and go back to my work. If I needed to ease myself, the restroom was just not too far, you know. If I needed to clean my hands, there was paper. Dry my hands, there's this dryer. If I needed to sanitize, there was that. So it was just easy. If I needed to warm my food, there was microwave. If I needed to cool my drinks, there was a fridge. If I needed to print something, there was a printing machine. You know, so you see, this is why productivity in the West is on a high, because they have made work very convenient for those working. But if you find yourself in a situation where you want to print, you've typed, or you want to type, but there's no computer to type, what are you going to do? You want to print, but there's no printing machine to print. There's a printing machine to print, but there is no power. There is power, but there is no Wi-Fi. You see, so the resources available is another thing that could dent or impact the productivity of a team. You know, so regarding structure, these are the areas to look out for. I'll call them the cardinal points to look out for. There could be other points, but these are the cardinal points to look out for when you are considering the structure of a team. All right. Okay, so we're going to look at culture of a team, and we'll go to the next slide. The next slide. So culture. So in this term, what do we consider culture of the team? We are talking about the social climate of the team. The social climate of the team. What's the social climate? What is it like? Is it an environment of trust and respect? That's something to consider. So the next slide. Next slide. So the first thing to consider is communication. Okay, just give me a moment. All right, so the first element to look at under culture is communication. The first class I handled was communication. So if you were in that class, bravo. I'm not going to spend much time explaining communication, but communication is very important in establishing or influencing the culture of a team. And so attention needs to be paid to the communication. So in the class I talked about, if you were not in that class, I think it was recorded. Please watch it. We talked about the three components of communication: presentation, active listening, and understanding your audience. So I'm not going to dwell on that. That's a long class. I'm not going to dwell on that. So communication, pay attention to the communication of the team. Are the team what is the communication like between team members and the leader or amongst team members? What is it like? What is the communication model? And are they effective in conveying their ideas? through the right channel, because that's another thing. Are they effective in conveying their ideas through the right channel? Are they able to actively listen to understand and not impose their ideas? Are they able or willing to understand themselves and hold space for each other with empathy? That's another thing. All right, so we go to the next slide. Okay, this is still on communication. I'm not going to dwell on that again. I've handled that in the first class. So we go to the next slide. Next slide, still communication. Okay, this active listening. But next slide, I don't want to talk on it. Still communication, understanding your audience. Next slide. Okay, great. So we have camaraderie. Camaraderie. So what's camaraderie? Camaraderie is mutual trust and friendship among people who spend a lot of time together. It is an essential tool to build motivation among team members. So yeah, it is very awkward to walk into a team of people working together who are stoic and are stoic to each other, and there is no bond. There's no level of there's no cordiality. No, it can't work. It can't work because you see what makes a team, a working team is different from a family, you would say, because they are bonded by blood and all of that. But actually, truth of the matter is that what makes your brother or your sister a part of your life is not just because they came from the same mother and father. It's because of the mutual trust and friendship you guys have built together over the years. I bet you there are friends in your life that are like your siblings. And what makes that happen is the trust and friendship. The trust and friendship. Yeah. So I know that in the workplace, it is being said that, oh, there are no friends in the workplace. I understand that angle. I understand that angle. You know, your job is not to like make friends, but there is a level of friendship. You get what I say? Because I mean, in teams, you've been in teams or in workplaces where people buy things and share to each other, maybe snacks, maybe food, maybe talk about the holiday, talk about family, oh Christmas, my daughter's birthday, all of that. It's a natural thing. There is no way you'll be working with someone and you will not know some very common things about their lives. Those mundane things. I'm not talking about deep personal things. So the point here I'm saying is that if you are to help a team resuscitate, an area to inspect is the camaraderie. Because if there is toxic energy, that is impacting the productivity of that team. If there is conflict, that is impacting the productivity of that team. So camaraderie is important because there has to be mutual trust and friendship for the team to bond, for the team to work. For it is that mutual trust and friendship that makes the team members want to meet again each meeting and share ideas and carry on a vision. It is that mutual trust and friendship. So that's something to look out for. And if the team does not have it, you build it. You have to create it. Look for opportunities. Um, try to create picnics, fun times for the team. That's why you see corporations do that. Banks would hold some parties, maybe mid-year party, end of the year party, and what have you. Those things are important. They know what they are doing. You say they spend a lot of money to hold big parties, bring artists to come perform. And you say, oh, no, they're investing in the team's camaraderie because it's very, very important and will help in the productivity of the team. So that's something to look out for. So we check the next element. Next slide. Okay, this one says factors to consider. Okay. Okay, next slide. I hope you haven't jumped a slide before this. Okay. Okay, great. So Factors to consider under culture of a team is self-awareness. Self-awareness. So what is self-awareness? One of my definitions of self-awareness is um paying attention to your verbal and non-verbal expressions and understanding how it impacts other people. Understanding how it impacts other people. So in the slide, I say, watch your verbal and non-verbal expressions so you do not unconsciously pass a wrong message. The reason is so that you don't create an uncomfortable climate by using expressions that might be misinterpreted as microaggressions. So there are things called microaggressions. Let's say in a team, there is a board meeting and somebody is giving a presentation. And then you're seated right in front of them and you're scrolling Instagram. And you're keeping a straight face. You look at the person and then you scroll Instagram. Scroll Instagram, scroll Instagram, scroll Instagram. The person giving that presentation is watching. As he's talking to you, he's looking. And it's like, because when you're talking to people, you feel that they should engage with you with their eyes and with their body, drop their phone. But by you holding their phone and scrolling, it's sending a message. And subliminally, you're telling them what you're saying is not important. What you're saying, you are not important. What you're saying is not important. But that's not what you said. That's not what you said. That is what the expression is giving. You understand? And so it could be that in that moment, you are actually checking work email. You're checking work email, there's an email you're expecting, but then you've passed the wrong message. So this is why it is very important. And this is also why people hate people for the first time. Just meet someone, they met in the first meeting, and from then on, they started hating each other. Not because they said anything bad to each other, but because someone's non-verbal expression or even verbal expression was misinterpreted as microaggression. So it's very important to be careful so that your actions, and this is what messes up teams. Oh, I don't like the way the person shouted when he told me, bring that bottle. I felt bad. You have to know that human beings have different temperaments, and you have to be very careful. Very careful, especially, here in Oyibo land, this is where you need soft skills to work, or else you could be in trouble, honestly. The way you talk to people, the way you talk to women, the way you handle people's pets, the way you talk about people, there are things, for example, here you don't tell someone, oh my God, you are so fat. That is you don't tell someone here they are fat. It is one of the biggest insults. But back in Nigeria, if you tell someone you don't fat too, they'll say, it's the goodness of God, my sister, my brother. No, be so. So you see, the cultural context is different. It's different. And self-awareness helps you to understand all those intricacies and nuances. So it's very important. Next slide. Signaling. So signaling here, all of these things are in my book, Rising at Sunrise. So please go and get it. And if there's even more, I didn't explain them in detail. There's even more, go and get it too. Get that book and study it. It will help you tremendously so that your product management and data science and data analytics and all that you are learning will be meaningful for you. It will help you so much because my brother, my sister, you will find yourself working with people that they look like people sent from hell. And it takes wisdom for you not to lose your mind. Because if you lose your mind, if you allow yourself to be gaslighted, they will mess you up. They will mess you up. You'll be painted as the bad person. Meanwhile, they are the ones causing the problem. So signaling here, I would say build a sense of community among your colleagues through right signaling by modeling generosity and empathy. So signaling is another thing that you can use to help build a team, make a team motivated, make a team healthy and vibrant. through generosity, through forgiveness, through sharing, share information, share opportunities. Ask them, oh, how are you doing? Ask your team members, how are you doing? I heard you. If something is happening with them personally, which is public, don't say, I want to mind my business. Reach out and ask, how are you doing? Oh, I learned your child, well, your baby, the last time I learned you couldn't come for meeting because your baby was sick, or your daughter or your son was sick. How is your child doing? I hope they're doing fine now. Oh, please, take care, take good care of yourself, eh? Or maybe they could, because see, there's a statement by President Theodore Roosevelt. He said, no one knows how much you know until they know how much you care. No one knows how much, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So people don't care how much you know, or what you think, the technical things you know. They want to first of all know that you care about them before they can now say, okay, this person cares about me, I'll give my all. Yeah, caring about people is a sign of respect. It shows that I see you, I respect you, I value you. And that's what everyone needs. And if you don't give that to people, they feel unseen. And when they feel unseen, they feel disrespected. And you want to gain their attention. Excuse you, you don't have your time. Next slide. Tone is another thing, very essential. Create a positive, generous atmosphere with your tone rather than being dismissive and accusatory. You want to address an issue, don't ask. I said this in my book, on in empathy. And I was really, really, wowed when I was undergoing a leadership and coaching training, in Detroit. And they brought up that thing. Don't ask why, ask what happened. And I was like, man, this has always been the thing I used to say, because people see, I don't know. When you ask someone, why did you come late? It has an accusatory tone. Now you say, I'm supposed to ask, why did you come late? Now, put yourself in the other person's shoe. Would you want someone to just ask you, why did you come late? Why did you come late is void of empathy. Let's say, for example, now you left your house. You're to be at the office by 8 o'clock. You left your house by 6:30 in the morning. You left your house to do a few other things so that you can reach office latest 7:30. Remember, you're supposed to be at the office by 8, but you told yourself, I want to be at the office by 7:30. Maybe the car broke down and it took like maybe 2 hours to fix it. And you showed up at the office by 9 or 9:30. And then here is one of your team members saying, Yusuf, why did you come late? Why did you come late? Now, let's be very honest with ourselves. The emotion you will feel inside after undergoing the stress of trying to fix your car, you will feel angry because you feel, number one, that this person is accusing you of being irresponsible. That's the subliminal reading. Now, you also feel very upset because you feel that this person is dismissing the experience, the stressful experience you went through, having your car break down on the freeway. That they didn't even care to know how you feel. And so this is why many times the why question is being followed by an angry response. You see that? So when a wife asks the husband, why are you coming home late? And he wants to come early. Sometimes the response is followed by an angry. That question is followed by an angry response. But when you ask, what happened? What happened that made you come late? It gives room. Now this person now at the back of his mind he tells himself, this person wants to know what happened. Do you understand? This person wants to know what happened. And they will now talk and say, my car broke down. My car broke down. Because what happened does not have an accusatory tone. What happened does not have a dismissive tone. You see, so tone is very important. The way you talk to people, because many times, many of us Nigerians, we are rude. Yes, we are rude. We are rude. We are rude. You have to pay attention to the tone with which you talk to people. Why? Because resentment is built over time when the wrong tone is expressed. Some introspection with a simple but heartfelt apology could heal wounded team members and build back their loyalty. Yeah. Because, of course, people are smart enough to read subtle cues that communicate acceptance or contempt. For example, now, if I treat you with contempt, you are smart enough to know that I am disrespecting you. You're smart enough to know that I'm disrespecting you. If I treat you, if I behave anyhow, you will know. And so you will be like, I'm not taking this bullshit. You'll fight back. And one of the ways you'll fight back is you are not going to come for meetings. You're not going to show up again because you feel disrespected. And this is what happens many times. In a team where people don't feel respected, it doesn't matter their age, it doesn't matter the experience. People deserve respect. And that's something I see here. That's something I see here. They even an intern is being given respect. you know so it makes you motivated to work. But when you're working in a place where they treat you as if you're a nobody, they treat you as if, like, it's like, now, for example, now you're an instructor in this MD 3 MTT, you're an instructor, and just because you're an instructor, you feel that you are better than the people you are teaching, and so you begin to talk to them rudely. That is preposterous, because some of these people that you are teaching could employ you. Yes, let's look at it. There's a mindset that we Nigerians have. Sometimes it's a very arrogant mindset. If you're given a position of authority, you feel that you are better than other people. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So this is very important. We shouldn't allow ego to get into the way of treating other people with the respect they deserve. All right. Okay, so we go to the next slide. So so I think this brings me to the end of my session, and I'm going to take questions afterwards. And this is a quote by President Theodore Roosevelt: "No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care." So we're going to do a recap. We talked about the structure and culture of a healthy team. Under structure, we looked at vision, leadership style, assigned roles, and resources available. Under culture, we looked at communication, uh, collaboration, adaptability, inclusiveness, camaraderie, all of that. And then we also looked at points or things to consider: self-awareness, tone signaling. All right, so we're going to take questions. Um, so I think I'm going to Lenene. Yeah, you have a question. You have a question. Feel free to ask your questions. If you have any, do you have any? Yeah. But don't ask me to start from the beginning, no, to teach this thing. I no go answer you. In the name of the health technologists. But if you ask me to explain on something, well, fine, I will. Okay, yes, please. Please go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, it's afternoon over here in Nigeria. Good afternoon, Mr. Chibuzo.
Madam.
Okay, my question is in regards to having a rude boss. I had an experience in my office some time ago where a boss of mine, you know, was so rude to me, and because he was my boss, I didn't know how to handle it. So all I did was just to swallow, the insult, and
Mm.
it repeated itself several times. One of those days, in fact, after closing from work, even as a security man, who is like a junior officer to me, my place of work, to search my bag because I left the office late. So in situations like that, not be, and secondly, not because he's too qualified, but just opportunity that brought him to that office.
Yeah.
Opportunity that brought him to that office and all of that. So in situation like that, how do I handle it?
Hmm. That's a very, very important question. Baby, sorry, baby. All right. So yeah, that's a very important question, and that's something that has happened. We've seen play out. Now, madam, I would like to ask this question. Your boss, does he have a director, someone above him?
No, he's the director general. We have other director.
It-
He's a overall boss.
okay. That's where the challenge is. Now, I'm going to paint two scenarios here. If the supervisor was had someone above him, the advice I would have given is that you have a conversation with his director, not making it look like you are throwing him under the bus, but you try to let the overall director know that yes, I'm committed to working here, but there is something that my supervisor did that made me uncomfortable and I didn't feel really good about it. And in a very polite way, you know how to put it. The director would know how would be if he's smart, will know how to go about it. But in this case, I would face this case head on. There's something I have discovered about human beings. When someone does something to you the first time, that something that you don't like, it is very important that you address it that time. Now, how you address it is what we're going to come to. But it is very important you call the person's attention to it. What's the reason for that? Because there's going to be a second time, and the second time will be worse. It's like in marriage now, a man uh, pushes his wife like this. Push your wife. She has to address that. It's not going to be a thing of don't push me again or don't push me again. No, he's not only going to push her next time. He's going to punch her or slap her. Why? Because many times human beings subliminally we are testing boundaries, and we want to test can to what extent can we cross this person's boundary. It's an unconscious thing. It's a natural thing. It's a primal thing. When he did what he did first, an email would be, and I'm also saying this because others can also learn, could just write an email to him. Hello, sir. Thank you for the opportunity and blah, blah, blah. I've loved working here and I've been motivated to work. Um, but you have been a very wonderful boss with your leadership and your kindness and all that. Try to be diplomatic. Don't, for some people, they say, I want to talk it the way it is. No, talking it the way it is has made many people lose their jobs. So don't try that, especially when you know that you are the one to lose. So you see all of that, and then you say, however, I would like to point out something that happened that made me um, a bit sad and uncomfortable. And it was how you spoke to me on a certain day. I understand that you wanted to pass a message across, but it made me feel this way. So you highlight on how it made you feel, not to accuse him that this is what you did, this is what you did. To say, this is how. Because sometimes we do things and the impact it had was not intentional. Maybe you could shout at someone and say, "Shut up." Now, the reason why you have to shout was for the person to take that announcement serious, to take the submission of that email seriously. But to the person, he might feel like, maybe he's shouting at me as if I am incompetent or he's micromanaging me. The impact is different. That's the thing with human beings. So I always say this, that first time is the best time to address that thing. Now, if it has gotten to this level where he got the security to search your bag, there is still a reason to uh, address it. Now it's getting really annoying. It's getting really annoying. What could be the reason for him to tell the security to search your bag? What info? So these are the things that are going through your mind. Is he thinking that I'm stealing things from his office? And it is an uncomfortable feeling because you are a grown woman, you're a responsible woman, and someone is making you feel this way. It is not a nice thing to feel. And so it is very important that you write an email. Now, that email, I would like you to, after doing a draft, look at it again. Ask a friend, a trusted friend, to go through it to see, so that it does not have a tone of to check tone. You could use Grammarly. So Grammarly could help you, look at the tone or adjust the tone of your email so it does not come off as aggressive. It could come off as formal. It could come off as um, joyful. It could come off as inquire, as though you're inquiring or what. So tone is very important. To just make him feel that I love working here. I'm motivated to work here. Your leadership has helped me so far. You know, However, there's something that is not making me feel good, and I have to share this with you. You are my boss. If I had ill feelings, I would have swallowed it and just kept it in my heart and build resentment. But because I know that you are not a wicked person, even though you may be a wicked person, but because I know that you are not a wicked person, and I want to continue working here, I just feel that I need to get this out of the way. And, so that is what I would advise you to do. And don't be afraid to do that. Because in the email, you are not calling him a bad person. You are not accusing him. You are just expressing, you know, your feelings, and that you are seeking, even you could seek to have a conversation with him. You would say, if there is anything that I'm not doing right, I would really be glad to hear you um, share that with me. On the other hand, you know the work dynamics of that place. If you feel that maybe there is a politics going on and there is a gang up going on against you, you could just count your days there. Yeah, you could just count your days there and begin to look for ways to apply and keep it on the low. I'm saying this because this thing happened to a friend of mine who was working in England. Um, he was facing some subtle racist behavior. They was now put on probation. Other people were not put on probation. They put him on probation. Even people who were performing lesser than him were not put on probation, but they put him on probation. And they say he's on a 3 month probation. Now, these are his supervisors, not even like the direct bosses. And it really frustrated that guy during that period. And the advice I gave him is that, guy, look, let me tell you, um, you could start applying for job in another firm, but maintain your cool, try to be cordial, try to do what you need to do and all that. Thank God, God was so gracious and kind. He got a job in a better law firm. And later on, he now found out that this is supervisors who brought up that probation thing. It wasn't even from the direct bosses, you see, when the truth eventually came out. So, yeah, so weigh these scenarios. If you feel that that is where you would love to continue to work there in the next 1 year, 2 years, write that email, let him know how you feel, you know, and not in an accusatory tone, but that you are saying this because you want to get this out of the way so that you can bring in your best in serving the organization. So that's what I would advise, madam. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you, man. I will take one more question and then we'll call it a day.
have a question.
Okay, okay, Marachi, go ahead.
Yes, good day. You said that if you feel you're not wanted or needed, that the person should prepare to take his or her leave. So what if the person does not have another option?
Okay, yeah, good. So, if you listen to the response I gave to, okay, you could mute your mic. I think there are background noises. Thank you. So, if you listen to the response I gave to Madame earlier on, um, you know what you want. Now, this is not an issue of if you don't have another option, because it's what they call workplace trauma, and workplace trauma is not something to joke with. Now, if you don't have another option, this is where you now have to play, be diplomatic. The person is not treating you well, you write a very polite email. You have to learn how to do that. Learn to write polite, nice email where you know how to convey your message. And this is why I talked about communication. This is why I talked about communication. Know how to convey your message. Don't accuse your supervisor because they will use that against you. Don't accuse them. Just tell them this is how I felt. This is how I felt. Now I want to continue working for this organization. I want to give in my best, but I felt that you don't trust me, or maybe that I didn't do this or I didn't do that. I am writing to let you know that I am committed to my task and I have been bringing my best into the job. And if there is anything you would like to bring to my attention, I would like for you to have that conversation with me. I will be glad to increase my productivity. Even though in your heart, you feel like slapping them. Even though in your heart, you feel like that is if I carry this man, I'll just turn him upside down and throw him inside Niger River. You have to learn to mask your emotions. That's the thing with workplace. But there comes a time where you know that this one is direct attack. This person is bent on destroying me. That is where you now have to begin to think of an escape route. If he does not have a direct boss over him that you can politely report the issue or bring the issue to the attention, you have to find. Don't say, but what if you don't have another option? That's a lie we tell ourselves. There are options. There are options. But the thing is that in the meantime, you don't have an option. Be smart enough to know how to navigate your way around. So long as your life is not at risk, so long as your well-being is not at risk, try to find your way around that within that time frame while you are also searching for other opportunities. So that if it continues, you just present your letter and say, oh, thank you, sir. It was nice doing business with you. I'm moving, here's my resignation letter. Simple. You've left Pharaoh and you've gone to your promised land. So that's it. All of these workplace challenges, it's not easy. It's not easy, but we need wisdom to be able to navigate our way around it. So that's what I would advise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Christopher, it's as though you have a question. Mr. Christopher, do you have a question? Your mic is on mute. Okay, no question. All right. So thank you so much for being present in this class. I know it's afternoon. Afternoon is usually not a very good time to learn.
Hello.
Thank you for your patience. Yeah, who is speaking?
Hello. Yeah, Christopher.
Okay. Okay. You
Christopher.
have a
Good
question?
afternoon, sir. Yes,
Good
yes.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah. I want to thank you first for this wonderful expository. It has been amazing. I would say this is one of my best class so far with you. I so enjoyed it. I You
Thank you.
talked about diagnosis of a failing team, and in the course of that, you talk
Please,
about
can you speak up? Your voice is
can,
faint.
can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, okay. So you talked about the diagnosis of a failing team, and then in the course of that, when you talk about culture of a team, you talk about affiliative leadership. So I like you to just give a little insight again about that affiliative leadership.
Okay, so I said possibly in the next class, it's just that time is not on our side, that I'm going
Okay.
to try to explain more on. I'm going to handle
Okay.
leadership at the different leadership style and in-depthly handle them. So I'll encourage you in the next class to be present. I'm going to
Yeah,
talk
sure.
about it
All
deeply.
right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. All right. So this brings us to the end of the class. Thank you so much for being present. And please continue to attend your classes and see you next Saturday. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.